Well, night 17, we're still locked in. We're making headway in Tanya's book, though, Nickel Dreams. It's getting good. They're barging into a lot of shows, and now they've gone to Nashville in a blue Cadillac that they say makes them look like Philadelphia lawyers. And I Googled it, and I got nothing. So I don't know what that means to them. Tonight we'll be drinking, believe it or not, I know it wouldn't be too hard to believe that my friend Ron White, who is known for drinking, made his own tequila. It's called Number Juan. Did I say that pretty good? Juan. Or as a Midwesterner, Number Juan. Number Juan made tequila. This is the Reposado. I had to learn about this. There's 3 levels. Extra Añejo is the most expensive. Reposado is the middle. And then Blanco is what you would use to for margaritas and stuff where you don't really care about the taste. The Extra Añejo tastes like whiskey, and I like that the best, but why would I go the long way around just to get back to whiskey when I already drink whiskey? I drank this. Well, mainly Ron drank this when he was here, and there's a little left, and I'm just being nice to give him a little plug for his tequila. It's good. The Extra Añejo is good, but I'd rather just drink whiskey, but we're not going to tell him that, and he won't watch this. Okay. So they're in Nashville. She wanted to see the Grand Ole Opry. The first thing on my personal agenda, did I already do that? Oh yeah, demos, we already did that. Okay, I got it. The way Exit Studios operated was that they supplied one guitarist and the studio. You chose 2 songs that the picker knew, and I got a final mix down and taped that same day. Well, that's kind of cool. Costa did 2 numbers, and I was impressed by her guitar player, Wade Phillips. So I couldn't believe it when he walked out of the studio and someone else came in to play on my session. My picker wasn't even close to being in the same league with Wade. I sang a couple of songs, but not with good grace. Not only was I unhappy about the guitar work, I still hadn't been to the Opry. That's all she wants. Can somebody just drive her down there? And then we get back to business here, get her working right. Additionally, I was in the business of seeking autographs. In the business of seeking autographs. Sandy Posey was in the building, and one of the secretaries asked me if I wanted her autograph. I didn't know who Sandy Posey was, but I said sure. As it turns out, she'd been a session singer in Nashville who'd had several pop hits in 1966 and 67, including Born a Woman and Single Girl. She must have guessed I was unfamiliar with the work because she asked me if I knew who she was. I had to say I didn't, and she didn't see any reason I needed her autograph then. Right. The secretary approached me a little later and asked if I was still looking for autographs. After my encounter with Sandy, I wasn't sure I wanted to be an autograph hound anymore. Well, no, because you got to know who they are. But when she said it was Hank Williams Jr. was in the building, I jumped at the chance. Hank was so gracious, and I still cherish his signature on that little scrap of paper. The sessions got done, and we had the tapes in hand. But Dad was furious with me about what he considered my unprofessionalism. Speaking of which, a little unprofessional. That's the name of one of Ron's specials. Unprofessional. And our next few hours were pure hell. He decided to give me an attitude adjustment. Oh. We left Exit Studio and pulled up in front of the Country Music Hall of Fame. We're set in concrete. They had stars dedicated to the various entertainers. Dad sat there in the car looking like a storm cloud was brewing over his head. Tanya, take a good look at those names, he said, because your name is never going to be on there the way you're acting. For once, I didn't have a comeback. Surprising. We went on to the Grand Ole Opry, and that experience, too, turned sour. Well, this is a shit day. Dad didn't say much to me, but when he did, he reminded me that it was obvious I'd made up my mind to sit in the audience and not stand on stage. When my dad is mad or disappointed in someone, it's like nothing you've ever seen. I huddled down in the seat at the Opry, dressed in a pair of green shorts and a little green and white shirt, thinking about how Dad and Mother sacrificed God knows what to make that trip, and I let them down. I spent a few hours watching the Opry stars and thinking about how I'd acted childish. Well, she was a child. I mean, could we all just acknowledge the fact? At this point, she's probably 5. Oh, I think she's 13. But I mean, come on, you're still a kid. You're allowed to be an idiot sometimes. I acted childish, pouting out about a guitar player and running around asking for autographs. I felt about as low down as a person could be. The next morning, we were up and out early. We didn't know anything about the music business, so So we'd see a record store and we wouldn't know if it was a place to buy records or make records. The first sign that we saw looked promising was K-Arc Records. So Dad pulled the car up on the curb in front and started to get out. All of a sudden, he got a frown on his face and closed the car door. I wonder if we ought to come up here in this Cadillac. Maybe they'll think we don't need them. Well, that's another thing you should have thought about back in Arizona when you wanted to look like a Philadelphia lawyer. Now he says he'd rather walk into Nashville barefoot than try to impress anybody with money he didn't have. Dad backed the car up a few faces and we headed to K-Arc. It wasn't what we expected. The door to the president of the company's office was behind the receptionist desk, and the entire bottom panel appeared to have been kicked in and semi-repaired. We could hear people talking inside, so Dad stepped up to the receptionist desk and asked if he could go see the man in charge. No way. In what was the first of many such moves, Dad just walked on over, opened the door with the sign that read, John Capps, President. And I'm thinking, oh man, you can't do that. And I guess Dad just figured that kicked in door meant people didn't get record deals by merely knocking. There's a lot of barging in going on in this book. They're barging in buses, backstage. They're barging in backstages. Now they've driven to Nashville and they're just busting at offices. At some point, you're going to get the reputation as a buster inner. Just saying. I don't know if that's coming up, because once again, I haven't read the book. But that was fun. And that's it. I'm going to drink my tequila. Start Ozark. I haven't started that. I lived there for a long time. Owned a resort, just like in the thing. Madigan's Last Resort. All right, you guys. Well, this has been fun for night 17, and we'll see you tomorrow night.